morning, everybody. Well. Today is the wonderful day we call Thursday morning. It's gonna get warm today. I just checked the forecast outside. It's supposed to be about high of about 17, 18 degrees. I didn't get a chance to go out yesterday because I didn't want to spend any money. But we know spring is coming. So that means that very soon YouTube is going to also pay me for the month of February. Yes, it is warm outside. Even right now, I was just looking at the weather before it came on. If you ever heard the microphone was running a low on the warrant was running, and I didn't turn it all the way down when I was getting ready. But currently, right now, the temperature outside is 10 degrees Celsius. Expect the high is going to be 18, and it looks to be lightly cloudy, but the sun is going to be peeking away by 12 noon when we start getting warm. So it's going to be, by the time I get out of the studio, 1 o'clock, 2 p.m., there'll be a high of 16 and 17 degrees Celsius. A good day to go out there and have some fun. What we're going to do with the February payout is we're going to be paying off the Ally. Well, I'm not going to be paying it off in full, obviously, because I don't have enough money to pay in full, but it can still make a difference. Is we're going to pay off 100 to Ally and 100 to Capital One. So which means I'll still have to get another 3 into my checking account, but at least I would be paying down the principal, and that's the good thing. So pay the principal down, and we'll see how it goes. Good morning, Krista. How you doing? So, very interesting conversation I had last night with, there we go. Unfortunately, the top of a mic, we don't want our microphone too hot because then you guys get headaches. And that wouldn't be good either. Yeah, so anyway, I'm trying to get the sound here right because I did get up a little late. So we had a great conversation, Brian PC, and I covered some computer stuff yesterday. We attempted to answer, I believe it was Philip Retzel Star. I was trying to recover some Windows 2000. Oh no, it's VW64RD. I was trying to recover some hard drive from the past. I hope he does get in contact with either the Nostalgia Electric group or the 8-bit guy. I don't know if Clint of LGR Game Review is going to be of any help, but maybe LGR might know somebody who could help as well. But I definitely think that 8-bit guy, Nostalgia Electric, and maybe even Fran Blanche might be able to be a good place to start with people that might know how to begin to recover the data for you, at least telling you how to do it. Okay. Also, good news is that whoever owned the grill has decided to move it out of the center of the porch into the corner. So, obviously, somebody still owns the grill and decided to be, kind of get it out of the walking way. Some people don't fall over it. Um, I don't even know what's going on with Red. I'm not even really. Let's you guys' job. You guys are doing what you're supposed to be doing. Congratulations and thank you very much. It do help. It does help a lot. So the panel is open, like always. Let me go switch this thing to live chat so I can see what's coming up here. So you spelled it wrong. Let's see that. 2 L's. I got it. So let's get the morning people up here today. Let's get the normal links up and to say that I'm really glad that you're all here, and that's something that I really appreciate you being here, part of the show, all of you. Like I said that yesterday. Also, Tiger Kitty's back. She had a chance to calm down and relax a bit, and I appreciate that. She came back. So, YouTube is changing some of the advertiser-friendly guidelines. As far as I know, I haven't checked the community information tab yet in Studio on the computer, but J Mac brought it up yesterday, and no, I didn't win anything yesterday on Weevoo. That they are starting to crack down on people smoking on camera, and I said, well, wonder when they're going to start cracking down for those who eat on camera. No, I already talked to Tiger Kitty. She's back. Okay, so let's come on panel. Let's get them up. It's Noodles, I think. It's Noodles. Yes, it is. Come on, cursor. Tracking me. Come on. Go. No, Noodles. How you doing?
Hey, Michelle. How are you?
I'm doing right.
So what's up with Red being so nasty to you this morning?
Bunch of music, man.
I
That's
have
what
no
it is.
idea.
Oh,
I have no idea. Maybe he's not taking his soul off today.
somebody I knew, man. He looked just like him. I'm sorry. I thought you guys were elevator guys.
It's I don't know what's going on with Red.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Huh?
What's that?
Sorry, Michelle. What was Red's problem?
I don't know. I jokingly said he didn't take his soul off this morning, but I don't really know what's going on.
Do you think maybe he needs to take some of some Volta or maybe some Zoloft? Maybe a mixture of the two?
I wonder if maybe he's in menopause.
What does that mean?
Is it low T? Is it no T? Are you grumpy because you're not getting your tea today? Well, we have tea injections just for you to give you your tea today. I think actually the problem with reality with tea or testosterone is it actually makes you more grumpy and grouchy from people that take too much of it or anabolic steroids. That's true, it does.
Have you heard back from Tiger yet?
Yeah, I talked to her yesterday in the women's group.
Okay. So is everything fixed? I mean, is she okay? I reached out to her this morning, making sure everything was all right. I don't want to bother her.
No, everything's fine. And I'm glad I made it up in time because I actually kind of got confused what time it was because I pressed the button on my clock and I thought it said 9:35 and it really probably said 8:20 or 9:25. So I just got dressed like I normally do and just get on here this morning.
Okay.
And I was just having kind of one of those waking dreams where involving strange mythical creatures and all kinds of weird stuff. I was like, I'm going to enjoy watching the rest of this one. And that was kind of what happened when I went back to sleep, watching my unicorns and everything else, because it was just kind of funny. Yeah. So we can see Noodles there in the car. So now, what is it now with the latest thing Stan was talking about, where YouTube wants to do vertical video syndrome now for live streaming? I don't really know. I like the idea of doing portrait mode. I'm more of into landscape. However, I do
So,
understand where portrait mode is great if you're gonna be on a stream like yours, split screen.
I don't think it's like that, Michelle. I think it's like, so you going live directly from YouTube. So you would click the go live button from your phone,
Yeah.
and you would do it like that, and eventually, people will come by. They'll,
I
you just
remember
got to keep at it.
I was trying to set up the show at Applebee's, and the one question I kept running into was it kept going into vertical video, and I'm like, I didn't.
Yeah, that's what you want, though, Michelle. You don't want the horizontal shit. I'm telling you, because what people are doing is they're flipping through it like they do like TikTok videos. So what I would suggest you do is, when you are you're working on your after shows, like after you're done with this show, I would just go live and put the phone up and just have everyone watch what you're doing. You don't even have to interact. That's what I would do.
The only problem though is my light source points up. It does. I mean, that means that the thing would have to go sideways, and then the stand would be very, very top heavy.
Well, Michelle, you just prop it up. You just prop it up and do your thing that you do after the show, and just let people watch it. You don't even have to interact with the show. You don't. People want to. I suggested this to Anderson a couple years ago. After he's done with the show, just go live and just show people what you're doing. You don't even have to interact. People want to see that, Michelle. People are curious about your life after the show.
I think most people would be very bored with my life after the show.
Well, I mean, Michelle, you let it run. Let's say you let it run until 7:00, Michelle. You know how many views you're gonna get?
No.
You're gonna get a lot of views, and you don't even have to do anything. It's just the camera in your house, and you're basically showing people, what's going on in your house. That's it. You don't even have to interact, Michelle. You don't have to do a show. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah. So you want to say like a security camera footage of me just basically doing nothing.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
And not even basically reading the comments. So I might as well just turn the comments off.
Exactly. I'm telling you, Michelle, if you want more views, you want more subscribers, you want all this stuff, let that thing run. I'm telling you. Let it run, Michelle.
I know that Chris Perillo had his old G4 Mac Mini set doing just that without the sound. And I looked at his footage from his G4 Mac Mini, and it was like some of the stuff would have been more interesting if you had turned the sound on, Chris Perillo, so we could hear what you and your wife are talking about. Instead of just showing you guys in camera.
I just don't understand what you're going to you have to lose if you do that. If you do that, Michelle, you'll have nothing. You're not going to lose anything. Nobody's going to report you for anything. Just don't show any nudity and anything like that. You'll be fine. You don't smoke. You don't do anything. You'll be fine.
Well, with the way we got the camera set up, we can certainly have all the cameras showing footage all at once.
No, I'm talking about the vertical thing. Use that to your advantage, Michelle. Again, all you got to do, and listen to me, all you got to do after the show, grab your phone, put it on your desk, right? Just hit live. Don't even interact.
You mean like Ron Rusty did one time by mistake?
And then people will flip through it, and maybe they'll see you and want to watch you doing whatever you're doing.
No, like I said, I can sit up to actually turn on all the cameras at once. So
I don't know if that's going to work, Michelle. I'm telling you, you're not listening to me. You're not listening to me at all.
You're saying is turn the camera on, put it in vertical mode, basically just let it record.
I am telling you, listen to me. I am telling you to grab your phone, okay? Go to YouTube, right? You're on YouTube. There's going to be a plus sign down at the bottom. You hit that, right? And it asks you if you want to go live. You go live and you just, that's it. And you just let it run.
Right, I got that part.
You don't have to do any production. You don't have to do anything like that. No production, Michelle, I'm telling you.
Instead of just looking at one camera view, why don't you look at all 4 camera views at once?
Because, Michelle, it's a production. Don't do it. You're wasting your time. Telling you. Wasting your time. Just try it, Michelle. Try it and see what happens. Let it run for 7 hours. Let it run for 8 hours, Michelle. Whatever it is. Just let it run. You'll get the view. You'll get the views. You'll get the subscribers. I'm telling you. There's people from all over the world watching that.
Most of the people that watch my show are mostly some people in Europe and the United Kingdom and United States. I don't really get much of the world. I don't see too much New Zealand, Australia.
Well, you'll get it. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I understand that.
Michelle, I don't know. I mean, have I ever told you to do something that didn't help you or benefit you or anything like that? I mean, I don't do that to you.
Now, by the way,
I don't know why.
who is Chrissy? I actually suggested a woman's group to contact Chrissy, but I didn't give an email address.
So I reached out to her. As soon as she reaches back, I'm gonna have you go over there and make some comments on her videos. I sent you the link to one of her videos. I think she'd be great for a interview, and I wouldn't talk about her yet because there's people that are targeting the people that we're talking to or talking about, and I would become friends with her first before you talk about her.
What content does she do?
I would keep that under wraps, Michelle.
Okay, fine. So
she'd be great. She'd be great for your show, by the way.
All right. I need an email address to contact her at because if I email her, that would be probably more right to her producer, and not have to worry about going through the spam trap as much. And that helps.
I don't know what that means.
What do you mean you don't know what that means? If you send a message to a person in the comment section, some people may not know who you really are because all they see is a message from you out of the blue, and they're like,
"That's not true." Sometimes when people do that, Michelle, I look at their channel. But I look at their channel. I see who they are. If there's any information that I can contact them with or anything like that. And all you gotta do, Michelle, is be nice. You just gotta say, "Hey, listen, are you doing interviews? I would love to have you on my panel." That's all you gotta say.
Now, by the way, do you ever get viewers from China?
Yeah, I get viewers from all over the place. There's a lot of people from Indonesia that are into broadcasting. A lot of them speak English, Michelle.
How do you do the foreign languages, though? If you don't, do you have the Google Translate plugin that will translate?
No, I don't have that now.
Okay.
But what I do is I ask them to please speak English. If they can't, then I usually ask them to please leave.
But then, if they can't speak English, then why would you be watching your show if they don't understand English?
Well, anyway, Michelle, listen, I would try that today. Like the thing that I told you to try that, see how it works, let it run for hours, Michelle. People will come in, they'll check you out. You'll probably get like maybe 50 subscribers a day if you do that after the show, and you'll make more money. I'm telling you. You got
My
more views.
question too is what do you think about this TikTok ban that the House and the Senate want to do?
I don't know, Michelle. Listen, I got to get back to work. I'll talk to you in a little bit. I'll be watching now. All right.
All right.
I love you. Bye.
All right. Bye bye. Yeah, there's this TikTok ban that the House voted not entirely unanimously, but pretty close. It didn't go strictly upon party lines. However, the Senate has said that they're gonna look into it, but I think it's probably not going to happen. As much as I hate to know that TikTok is sponsored by the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, I am surprised, as we were talking yesterday, how many American companies that are doing the same kind of surveillance, and we're not going to them and say, hey, you can't spy on your users' comments, that's unfair. But they do anyway. TikTok is very bad, way worse than Facebook, even worse than YouTube. Way. Yeah, I understand that. Also, I hear the content on TikTok isn't necessarily very good either because of but I just don't understand why we don't have an American TikTok. I mean, if people like to do TikTok content, I know it was just considered is what if we bought TikTok in America and had an American run company? So there also are, I also have access to some Russian networks too. Really though, when I want to be on Russian networks, I also have access to South Africa or African TV channels or networks too, called Africa and a few others. I'm like, I don't know anything about these different platforms. We do have American TikTok live streaming on YouTube. Yes, I think that's what YouTube's trying to do. Again, become another Me Too network. It looks like another network. Even on my desktop, I can set it for vertical video too. Not right now because that would just totally confuse the living hell out of me. But basically, I would have to do the equivalent of turning my cameras about well, actually, no, not really turn. I would just crop them down to make the screen really, really weird. The vertical video syndrome. It's getting posted on YouTube much anymore as they have a controlled TikTok now. They get redundant information. They build the phones. How hard is it to embed code in the devices that do the same data harvesting? Very good question. That was discussed. I remember a couple of years ago, particularly with the phones from HTC, was Huawei actually giving a backdoor for the CCP to listen to what the phone callers were talking about. And the same bill will let in the Biden administration had complete control of Meta and also TikTok if sold. Yeah. So in other words, we go from one aristocracy to another one. It's not the solution. It's just a problem or a band-aid on a bad problem. Whatever the most Americans are on the internet, the feds will follow. You're right about that. Or even on their desktop or laptop. People don't even know or don't even really think much about what a firewall is. I mean, nothing is secure, really. You're right about that. HIPAA be damned, because HIPAA isn't going to do much to secure your medical records. Yes, Tabs, I know. How many calories is the human body anyway? I'm sorry, I am not 85% lean. I mean, think about it. Talking about the Haitians part. You put me on the Barbie, and the next thing you know, your whole house burns to the ground. So it's kind of a weird thought, though. An idea about, let's cook Michele on the grill today. And next thing, the fire brigade is there because the whole house is on fire because of fat. That's really amazing to think about. But I'm glad that I wouldn't be alive to recognize it. Yeah, they're lean, but I mean, cooking food. Everybody seems to like hamburgers to have a like 85% lean to 90% lean, for example. I don't know if they'll ever come up with a 100% lean hamburger, but if they ever do, or a human body for that matter, that meat would be very, very dry. I don't know, Mojo. I don't know why they are. I have no idea why they are doing that. I mean, I think what it is the gangs don't want to have evidence to their violent crimes or something. That's what I heard in pieces, but I don't. That doesn't make any sense. Well, we gotta get rid of the body. We gotta get rid of the evidence of me killing this guy. Well, I guess I'm gonna have him for dinner tonight. Do a Jeffrey Dahmer on the guy. That's kind of seriously, it is very disturbing. Do you think spiders talk about that? Oh, I just had to eat my husband's spider. He was so great. His spinnerets were tasty. Oh my goodness. No, I don't know why. Human beings are weird that way. We don't like the thought of cannibalism because it's disturbing. And yet, in some parts of the animal kingdom, it's actually a fact of life. Yeah, but remember the last time the Clinton administration was in Haiti, they created the crisis in the first place. Yeah, I've heard of that, but I don't really know if that really helps, though. I mean, I see that because, yes, you're eating their energy. You're eating, but you're not really eating their spirit, but you're eating their energy. Yes. But does it really really give you any benefit to do that? That's the question that comes up. Yeah, well, Haiti's been a problem for a long time, and it's not just a new thing. It is one of the poorest second world countries. Where Dominican Republic right next door seems to be doing a little bit better. Go figure this. Haiti and Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic is using the United States, Canada type telephone system phone numbers. Haiti's using the European telephone exchange numbers, or country and city codes. Where the Dominican Republic is using area codes like we use, and exchanges and subscriber codes. I think even the electric voltages in Haiti is kind of still mixed up. I think Haiti is still running on 240 or 120, whereas Dominican Republic is 2. But the difference is the electrical system in the Dominican Republic is a little bit better condition. I think some people would say the same thing about Christianity, honestly. Is Christianity also an integrated belief system? I'll leave that for you to decide. But I do believe that, faith systems do eventually pass away. And they do change. But religions cannibalize religions too, if you think about it. Some faith systems are built on other faith systems. And that kind of makes it hard for some people to understand. For example, before we had monotheistic Judeo-Christian religions, it was based on a polytheistic concept of the Godhead of Mother God, aka Asherah, and Father God, which I believe they call him a different name, but we would know him more as Yahweh. And they had a son, which I can't remember his name right now, but I guess we could use the Christian concept of Jesus. And they were the true God family. Well, when the Pharisees and the Sadducees of the Hebrews got involved with that, they said, "Oh, God forbids us from having any other gods before him, so we got to get rid of Mother God. We got to get rid of Jesus, equivalent of their son, God." And then, of course, Christianity is built upon Judaism as well, which was built upon this faith system. And that is one of the reasons why you get into the situation why Jews don't believe in Jesus, because their prior faith system, which is based on the Canaanite faith system, originally believed in the Son of God, but now they don't believe in the Son of God, and they don't see Jesus Christ as the Son of God because he doesn't meet the requirement of being a Son of God. No, Stan, I am. Trust me, my pantry is well stacked over here. My pantry is well stocked. Oh, I have plenty in me. Oh, yes. My pantry is well stocked. I've probably put on about 10 pounds this week. Haiti actually has the most gold and oil in the Caribbean. Bill Clinton's brother stole the mineral rights when the Clinton Foundation stole billions from Haiti. And of course, don't forget, the Haitian government actually did nothing to secure those mineral rights. Think about it. If they had the most gold and silver oil, No, they didn't say silver, but I'm sure they have silver too. The one question comes across is, what did the Haitian government do with all that material that they had? It's a good question. So, Debs, that is an interesting question. Clinton's brother didn't steal the minerals, he just stole the rights. But I think, honestly, if I was him, this is what I would say to him.
Now what, I say, what's the big idea bashing me on the noggin with a rolling pin? Clunk enough people and we'll have a nation of lumpheads.
No kidding. So where's the Haitian government in this? I mean, the Haitian government should have basically just said to, just like Barbara Bush said, just say no. No. You know, you're not going to give us the help we need, so no, you're not getting anything from us. You're not getting our mineral rights. And if they're too stupid to realize that they had the right to say no, they're going to have to get an education real quick because they still have all the stuff in the ground. It's still theirs. So go out there, start mining your gold, mining your oil, put it in the market, flood the market with lots of sales, and basically make your economy rich. Yeah. Of course, we all know that speaking of making things great again, Fannie Willis is I think she's lost her reputation in Georgia. I don't think she's gonna. I think she's lost the Trump case. Several charges against Trump. His attorneys were able to overturn, and so six to nine charges were dismissed by the judge in the Trump case. Now the civil libel case or slander case against him named Gene something that he was supposed to pay $89 million for. I wonder if that's going to hold up in court either because Trump is appealing that. Letitia James is still drooling at getting the huge payout that Trump owes, despite the fact that his government's a posted bond to file an appeal. What's going to happen to her if a judge in the appeals court says, sorry, you don't got a case? I guess she's going to go, well, I guess I'm not going to have another building for homeless center. Yeah. Haiti is a beta test for rolling out the economic collapse. Okay, that was what you said earlier. Okay. But what's going on in the American economy? Our country government, as you've got people like Letitia James and Fannie Willis trying to go through and destroy all our American law system, trying to create a dual-tier legal system. And that's disturbing. Our forefathers would have been like, wait, what is this crap? The law's supposed to be applied to all, not some. And just because you got special favors doesn't mean that you should be exempt. Whereas if you don't have special favors, that you should be treated like dog do. I don't understand how that works. Too bad says New York State is going to end up having to pay him interest and penalties for holding his money hostage. That is in the state law there. It will bankrupt the state if he collects, and the city, because the district attorney, Letitia James, is from the city of New York. So the city of New York would just kind of do a counter appeal, claiming that they can't afford to pay it. And I got a feeling that they would not gain anything by that. YouTube censored my last chat. Yeah, that's another thing too. YouTube is changing their advertiser friendly guidelines again. As I said, J Mac brought this up, and I thought that was very interesting that YouTube is doing this. They're saying now you can't smoke cigarettes or other things on camera and you'll be instantly demonetized. And I said to J Mac, I said, when are they going to start cracking down on those who are eating on camera? So, I mean, you can't drink on camera, alcoholic beverages, really. You can't smoke on camera. Well, how long before they started attacking people who are eating Doritos? claiming rightfully so that excessive junk food makes you expand your pantry. Government guidelines. Oh, some of it is definitely YouTube, guys. YouTube itself. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. I see the limited no ads is back again. All right, we shall appeal that. Thank you. The fact of the matter is that YouTube is trying to crack down on this stuff because, and just as the United States Department of Agriculture's Farm Bill is trying to say that people on the food stamp program EBT/SNAP need to eat better choices. So they were saying is that you can't buy snacks and treats on food stamps. This is in the Farm Bill that was proposed. Something tells me I don't think that's going to work out as well as they think. How many people will just buy the fruits and vegetables and either never use them or just don't know what to do with them? I got it to post. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Dabs. It's messy. Okay. This were in BlackRock. Yeah, but you know what though? You can still get fat and fresh fruits and vegetables because the truth of the matter is, no one's gonna stop you from making homemade apple pie. I mean, or homemade peach cobbler, or homemade chocolate cake, or maybe homemade chocolate apple strudel. If you want to make something that sounds revoltingly disgusting, combine chocolate and apples together. Ew. But you know what? Some people probably would eat that. I don't know. Problem with hydrogen fuel cells is the fuel source. Hydrogen, right now, currently, in large amounts of it are made from natural gas, or by water electrolysis. And the problem with that is that's a lot of energy used just to make the hydrogen in the first place. So, just like using electric vehicles, all you're doing is you're just taking energy from the grid just to make a fuel source to make your car go. Whereas with the electric vehicles that we have today, you're just taking energy in its pure potential mode, pumping it into a car battery, and just skipping the middleman in the process. Which means it's a little more one-to-one direct conversion of energy. But then again, the thing is, if they're poor because they spend all their money on food, let me ask this: what is the government doing to make sure that food prices are not totally at the mercy of outside influences? Yeah, I know the money's in batteries, but I agree. I don't think people are going to want to run a car on hydrogen because hydrogen is going to cost more to produce than it is to plug a 240 volt class 2 power cord into your Tesla and go directly from volt to volt, amp to amp, fill a battery. But I think you're going to start dealing with the EPA. What about the first thing is that electric cars are using too much electricity to run. They need to have CAFE standards on electric vehicles. Because your cars are using more and more energy in navigational systems and control systems. We could have done the same thing with gasoline cars too. We could have easily had same self-driving cars with the sensors and stuff too. And yet, that's only mostly in electric cars and maybe a very few number of gasoline cars that have the whole system of self-driving. Yeah. No money involved in hydrogen. Sure, eat enough beans. They'll make all the hydrogen you want. Of course, this contains other gases too, but then again, you can just refine it out. Take out the sulfur dioxide, take out the other volatiles from your farts, and there you go. You got hydrogen. But then you got to store it. Got to compress it up to about 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 pounds per square inch at 1 atmosphere, or gravity 1G. I don't think most people are going to have the ability to compress hydrogen gas at that level in a home setting. Because if they did, it would be like Marvin the android going, "Where's the boom? There's supposed to be an explosive boom. You got 4,000 to 6,000 pounds per square inch at 1G of pressure storing in a tank in your backyard of highly combustible fuel. You suddenly would get a kaboom." pretty ideologically maligned to begin with. Yeah. Well, welcome to the kick side. Yeah, so the idea is all this idea of making hydrogen in your own home, I don't think it's going to happen. Although we do have people who are able to fill their cars with compressed natural gas from home. And that works. Because that doesn't take a lot of work. You get a natural gas line going into your garage, and you just compress the natural gas coming from your utility, and stuff it into your tanks and your vehicle, and you're ready to go. It's pretty straightforward. I'm partially funded in DVA as a hedge against food price inflation of 9.6%. I bought it in July of 2023. I haven't ever really got into e-trading or day trading. I kept saying I might want to try some day trading through E-Trade. I did virtually register on E-Trade, but then again, at the time, I didn't have enough money coming in to really put enough money into my E-Trade account to do anything with it. So that's the reason why I never got into day trading. That's because I didn't have enough money to invest into doing online investments like that every day. You just see me sitting on my fat ass every day in front of the computer, worrying about the price of stocks going up 1 or 2 points. They be sitting in a nest egg of basically pennies. Yeah, I understand that. All right, Noodles, tell her to contact me. Okay? Give me her email address in the DM. Tell me her email address. Okay? Tell me her email address in the DM. Not here. Not here. If she's really interested in talking to me and she's already talked to you, give her my email address. I don't know. I mean, YouTube is just does some weird stuff, and the new CEO seems to want to do something different for some reason. I don't know why. All right, I'll give you the panel link again. All right, hold on a minute. Make sure you spell it right. I got it. LLINK. There you go, Red. It's coming up on the screen for you. I'll get my fingers over here on the side so I can see who comes up. Yeah. Yeah, that's all you have to do. Just type in exclamation PANELLINK. Good morning, Grace. How you doing today? Yeah, I don't know what YouTube's plans are or whose feathers they're trying to de-ruffle, but for a couple of days we were going straight with the green dollar sign. Now we have a yellow dollar sign again. YouTube just doesn't seem to like to leave things well alone. So it's kind of weird though. So YouTube is trying to smooth out something with somebody. I mean, you go. I mean, why does everyone support the woke movement? What is there in it in the woke movement, which includes a lot of companies that do? Okay, so let's come up with panel. It's Noodles again. Go ahead. All right, go ahead, Noodles. I can't hear you. He's here, but he's not talking. Must be in a dead spot. No. If you must know, I'm doing today my. Chris quietly became a millionaire and was steadily investing in Tyson Foods and Purdue. Well, maybe, but the reality is that the agribusiness industry is where money is. Um, because if you look, where agribusiness is, there is money to be made in it. But the only thing with day trading is, from my experience, it's it gets confusing because I don't know any of that stuff. It was kind of true when I started with YouTube. I didn't know everything either. I had no clue. You would think, since my experience working with Yukon Student Television, that I would a lot of my skills would easily transported into YouTube, but a lot of the stuff didn't because the technology changed. For example, editing videos on Super VHS using an editing deck. There really wasn't any direct access to the same skill set with live streaming, which was using a whole different product to do the same job. You know, and now we're seeing that YouTube again wants to change the format. I see that Virgo Goddess was already doing the vertical video syndrome that everybody's talking about in portrait. She already was doing that with her cell phone, which kind of sucks because then I have to turn my phone to portrait just to watch her video, and I find that's absolutely silly. Well, okay, I got some. Noodles has come back on again. Go ahead, Noodles.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Is this really Noodles Live, or is it somebody else?
Yes, it's me.
There's somebody else, Michelle. It's not Noodles.
No, it's
I
me.
know that. Okay, so that's not Noodles. So, um, Yeah, well, that's understandable. That even a majority of my audience watches my shows on their cell phones too. But at the same time, it really doesn't help content creators when we're trying to get multiple people on stage. Like I can get it side by side, kind of like you saw earlier with me and Noodles on the screen, right? Is that you could see me and them, or like lays down with me in the chat on the screen, right? Pretend the chat's another person. So the first thing is that I'm in landscape. So with 3 portrait calls, I can get all 3 on the same landscape screen. So screen setup is easy. But what are you going to do if you're watching a show on your LCD TV? What are you going to do? Because this can do this with this monitor. Are you going to rotate the monitor just like this? So now everything is sideways? Is that what you're going to do? Oh, I never did say that, but I don't want to mess up my monitor. By the way, this monitor can rotate 180 degrees, 90 degrees. I can turn this whole monitor sideways. But then you would only see part of my face and see the back of the monitor. So, yeah, I think a lot of people would like to be Noodles' success. That's very true. But Noodles is Noodles. You know, we all know he's made out of semolina wheat, right? So everybody could be Noodles. I mean, sure, maybe the Rotini one can say I'm a Noodles, and so can the ziti. And then, of course, the extra wide lasagna noodles. As far as I understand, the noodles that we all know is more like angel hair. Very, very thin spaghetti. I mean, he's like Ronzoni. They're like Muller's and San Giorgio and other store brands. My show, I'm not like Noodles. My content is different enough that it stands out. It is different, and that's fine. I mean, because I have some cross references with his channel. Some of his audiences are my audience, and I have no problem with that. And I think that's what makes my show successful. Is the fact is that we do have a different clientele. We do have a different viewer base. You know, I don't think some of Noodles' routines could actually work for me because I don't have a car and I don't have a driver's license. What makes Noodles successful is the fact is that he is mobile and able to go places that I can't go. And he's, fairly I'm trying to think of the right word. He's definitely more social than me. I think that's a big difference to keep in mind. I mean, he's what they call a social butterfly, whereas I'm more of an introverted person that tends to stay inside more than go outside. Although when I do go out, I go out, and I didn't go out yesterday because I fell asleep. I got up to get ready for Wee Woo, and then when Wee Woo was over, the sun had already set. Oh. Well, like I said, different content. The Me Noodles do hang out together. We do have good content that kind of resonates across both shows. What would happen if one day, and the way the internet is, this could be a thing one day, when YouTube decides, or the creators of YouTube decide, that it's time to close the platform down, or a major Carrington event similar to 1859 knocks the internet offline. All those content creators are going to find out that they have no one to broadcast to. I don't know how much those people will be able to cope with the sudden change, because all they know is doing something on the internet. Well, welcome to the show. I appreciate it. Because I appreciate new people that come check out the channel. It does help. But like I said, one day might happen that we get a message from YouTube just like we did with Google Plus saying, guess what? We're closing the platform. You got 1 month to get all your stuff out of here. And this is possible because Google has, under Alphabet, has closed a lot of sites and things that they don't think was worth making money. YouTube right now is still making money, but people, just like the quartering says, people are leaving YouTube. People are already saying that the platform is not what they were hoping for, and that they feel that it's changed too much. So, it's something to think about. What happens to all the content that was ever done? That's ever stored somewhere in hard drives, either in your basement or even on the cloud? What happens to all those videos? All those dogs on skateboard videos? All the funny cat ones? I mean, exo-archaeologists are going to have a field day once we're gone of taking me to read the hard drives. The fact is, they're going to go through an abandoned Google data center, say about 10,000 years if they're still standing, and saying, look at all this stuff. What were these humans thinking? Okay. So Red says, hey, Michelle, would you ever be interested in doing some frequency experiments? I don't know what that means by frequency experiments. I don't broadcast in PCM. My brain works in amplitude modulation with a carrier. It is not sideband or dual sideband. I don't know what version of frequency modulation I do. I don't think my brain does FM. I think my brain still has some vacuum tube finals in it. Nothing beats a big giant 1956 RCA radio transmitter. It's still set to do Connell rod, basically running at 20,000 watts. using a 480-volt three-phase secondary transformer for running the finals, running a 4,000-volt plate voltage. You want to talk about a hot deal. There you go. In fact, which brings us up to the question in the book or in the radio serial. We did talk about the transmitter, which is made by Collins, but we didn't go into detailed description on the book of what the transmitter, how it was made, or how it was wired, or how it was put together. Because for the radio serial, we didn't, because you're trying to keep the radio serial going by a pretty good clip. Typical listener is more interested in the interaction with the characters, not about the technology. Where in the book, I can go into detail, excruciatingly so, and then tell the audience, if you want to skip the tales, go to page 207. I work in law enforcement. Okay. Well, I wonder where my IP address chases back to. You realize that you're using a VPN, right? Yes. No. So it's actually the VPN is in Dallas, Texas, under Tunnel Bear. We had a VPN installed because of the fact is that we had to protect my real IP address and my router from some unsavory people. If you were a vegetable in Mississippi, I don't know. What about broccoli? What about cauliflower? I like both. Yeah, carrots are good too. Carrots are dirty because of roots. I know. That carrots get to run nutrients to the soil. What about a potato? Too starchy. Potatoes are too starchy. Yeah, so try to figure out which my IP address is. But don't post it here because we don't want to get doxxed. Just if you want to. I gave you a clue I'm using a VPN, so. Well, I eat a lot. You see a lot of cauliflower broccoli. Sometimes I would eat it with balsamic vinegar. I haven't had that in a while with some raw carrots on the side. Raw broccoli, cauliflower chopped up, placed on a plate with some raw carrots dipped in balsamic vinegar. Pretty interesting taste, actually. I don't know how that works with the ATF. Regarding Shine, I mean, I think if you're making it for yourself and not selling it, I don't think that's a problem. Did you know that during Prohibition, you couldn't sell alcohol, and but you could make up to 100 gallons of wine a year for home use? 100, I think it's 100 gallons or 100 liters of wine for home use. It's part of the prohibition alcohol that really no one talked about. I didn't know it either until I found out about it. Balsamic vinegar. Balsamic vinegar is made out of grape musts. What's grape musts? Oh, from what I understand, grape musts are the skin of the grape, the whole grape, not just part of the grape. Especially balsamic vinegar from Modena, Italy, is very particular how it's made and how it has to be a certain purity level. Well, it's still interesting though. And how is the vinegar itself made? I mean, modern mass-produced vinegar is made out of the controlled SCF factor added to wine, like white wine, that turns within the control rate using what they call a mother to, which is the SCF factor, to make the certain pH of the alcohol to like 3.5 or pH of 3.5, not 3.5%. That's another level of dilution. The white vinegar is got to be just tart enough and not too tart, because once you get into like 5% on like pH of 5, that stuff is, or even 5%, you start getting something that actually is almost equivalent to battery acid. I don't know. Well, it's interesting because what it is it's a bacteria that actually break the wine, the alcohols of wine down, and in some ways, vinegar is kind of like controlled rot. It's not. That's why you got these nitrates in vinegar, because that's actually what happens. Is that these acid factors are eating the sugary part of the, say, white wine, and is making nitrates that are what gives vinegar its sharp taste. Yeah. And you can, so your standard kitchen vinegar is only like pH of 2.5 to 2.7, but if you really want to make it really strong, you can make it as far as 5. But then again, as I said, it's more like battery acid at that point. All of a sudden, like, you might as well use to flush out your battery and replace it, because it's, I don't know how good it'll make it as an electrolyte, but and then of course it's still using something similar to acetic acid, and just using regular food vinegar, break it down into that. Once you get to over a certain point, the vinegar can't get any stronger than it is. It's just hit maximum, and then after that it becomes spoiled. Actually, it's kind of interesting. I'm sitting on the porch. I'm gonna be going out in a little while today too. I didn't get a chance to go out yesterday because we were having to land right on top of when I was gonna go out, and I also didn't want to spend a lot of money. I'm trying to watch my budget now so I can get my things back on track. So this week, on the 22nd, we're gonna pay LI $100, and we're gonna pay Capital One $100. and then and try to put more back into the checking account. Right, but you wouldn't want to put that on your salad, would you? Probably not. Although I haven't known that baking soda to spaghetti sauce. To help, especially if it's a cheap sauce that tends to be very acidic. I have actually done that. I made homemade spaghetti sauce using tomato paste, and it was like so strong. I was like, try to dilute it, but I wanted to keep it kind of thick still. So I just threw in some baking soda on top of that, and you can hear the bubbles coming out of it. Another revolting dressing type is yam ranch. What the hell would eat that? Yam ranch dressing. It's also the name of a person on his channel. So I was like, yam ranch dressing. Why would I want to eat yam ranch dressing? Okay. Except I hate pumpkin. Maybe with something like, well, obviously, usually you add sugar, but what if you don't use a lot of sugar and you're trying to cut back your sugar in your own cooking? Would something like saccharin be a better choice as a sweetener? Problem with saccharin is you use it in your coffees, it has a strange aftertaste. It does, yeah. I don't know. I just don't like the taste of pumpkin. It just doesn't agree with me. You don't like taste of pumpkin unless you use too much. Okay. Well, maybe that makes sense. Yeah. In New England, you got a lot of people talk about things called pumpkin spice. Now, I don't really like pumpkin spice. I certainly, when I was living at Patty's house, she insisted on being her main air freshener was pumpkin spice. I really was like, well, what about apples and cinnamon? No, I like apple and cinnamon, the smell of it. I've certainly tried tasting it too. It's pretty good, I guess. I don't know. Is there any other states in the United States that eat pumpkin spice in fall? Every time October comes around, all of a sudden it's pumpkin spice time here in New England. And I mean, my God, you can visualize what happens. Everybody starts getting in the pumpkin spice thing, like the Dunkin' Donuts pumpkin spice drinks, the Cumberland Farms pumpkin spice drinks, the pumpkin pumpkin spice air fresheners. Um, and it gets to be a little bit much after a while. Yeah, well, cinnamon's not bad. I like the smell of fresh, clean sheets, too. In fact, that's one of my air fresheners I'm using right now. It's clean sheets. Because it's something that doesn't offend. It just smells nice. Sea breeze, ocean breeze is called, I think. And it's something to think about. So, what are your favorite smells? I guess, I mean, maybe something that may not exactly be an air freshener, but until some of them have become simulated as air fresheners. Chocolate chip cookies, chocolate cake, lasagna, raviolis, the smell of a brand new car, the smell of freshly washed laundry, maybe. That certainly has become a scent. Apple cinnamon, we mentioned that earlier, pumpkin spice. Bergamot, I don't know what that is. Vanilla, okay, yeah, that's a scent too. Cinnamon, just by itself, just been made into an air freshener. It's apple cinnamon and vanilla, and unfortunately, Michelle, a little bit of pumpkin spice smells okay. I don't mind a little bit, but when you were in Patty's house, she really pushed the light out really hard on you. But I don't think it's too bad in moderation. Okay, I wasn't sure what it was. I don't really know much about the taste or smell of Earl Grey tea. I'm not Sean like Ricard. I don't drink my Earl Grey hot. Kind of thing. I've never had Earl Grey, so I wouldn't know. Good morning, Gitsy. How you doing? What about chocolate as an air freshener smell? I mentioned chocolate cookies, chocolate cake, vanilla cake. I think those smell pretty good. Of course, I also like the smell of lavender. There's just something about lavender. It's got a nice smell. Scented oils. Something pretty good. Maine. Tons of Maine. Thompson, Maine also makes a deodorant with it. Lovely stuff. Just not very effective. Well, it depends. Depends on the person's pH. It may work for some people. It's kind of individual. Some people, certain things work fine for, and other things don't. Yeah, lavender's good. That was just one of the scented oils I could come up with them in my head, but there's others I know if I spelled I like too. Yeah, the linen speller fresheners. Right now I'm using Ocean Breeze, but I've used white linen spell one. Yeah. You're funny, Michelle. I absolutely, genuinely adore you. Well, thank you very much. Keep sticking around. Stick around. Don't just walk in and leave, because, we're trying to grow this channel, and we could use more supporters. And the most important thing that everybody can do is please put a like in the like chart. It really helps. I need toxic stuff and aluminum powder. Well, one smell I kind of like, which is certainly not intended to be toxic, but depending on what you use, you're using talcum or if you're using cornstarch as baby powder. I use cornstarch baby powder in my body. I won't go into detail how or why, but just to say is that that stuff smells nice. And Dawn Blue. You mean the detergent? You mean the dish soap? Yeah, it smells okay. Um, uh, I like the smell of Tide, Tide, Tide laundry soap. But I noticed that the smell of the Tide I got is kind of muted compared to the Tide my mom had as when I was a kid. My God, that stuff was strong smelling. Tide powder. I use Tide powder still, and the fact is, it's still smells nice, but it doesn't seem as strong of a smell as it was back when my mom was using it back in the 1970s. I don't know about shark bites, but also the new Dawn Power Wash. They're saying you can use it as a general cleaner. Gee, Dawn, I've been using you as a general cleaner for years. Yeah, definitely. It's funny when you do that, like I did with the soundboard when I was laughing, and I decided to stop it right in the middle like that because you can push on, push off, and some cases that works out pretty good. For example, like this sound effect here, which I don't play a lot. It's so long that I basically realized I had to cut it down smaller, so I just pressed the button like, "See, that's enough." Okay, well, I never heard of that, but that doesn't. I mean, that's interesting. And we all know that Dawn is used by a lot of natural wildlife people ever since the Exxon Valdez cleanup to help get rid of all the excessive oil schmoo off the wildlife that was of the birds that were stuck with all that oily schmoo on them. That Dawn was used to remove that. Um, it's how about the pumpkin seeds as a smell? Mm, I don't know. Never really thought about it. But I do like the smell of homemade apple pie, though. So there's this stuff that I want to get back to this because I did mention it briefly about the Farm Bill. That one of our proposals of the Farm Bill, and it's they keep kicking it down the road, but basically the way it is, one of the proposals they were going to add it to the budget. Oh, the omnibus budget. I know that passed. I don't know about the Farm Bill was in this. But what they wanted to do was to remove junk food from the Farm Bill. Okay, and you have to remember one thing about people that the EBT SNAP program serves is there's two different groups. One group has kitchens and can cook, and the other group may not have a kitchen or does not know how to cook. In the second group, one of the proposals was allowing you to use your food stamps to buy pre-made foods from the grocery store. like rotisserie chicken and things like that, which means that you can at least get a warm meal. Again, from the grocery store. We're not talking about using a food stamp to go to Burger King. Although some counties do allow that. You can actually use, and during the pandemic, that was the thing. People on the low income would sometimes, because of budget or constraints, they introduced programs to allow you to use your food stamps to go get food at fast food restaurants. So I got a good feeling the USDA is not going to allow that expansion to continue, because obviously that would be against the junk food policies. Another thing too is it really going to help when the government micromanages your food budget? Because it seems to me every time the government gets involved in your foods or anything in your life, it may be for some good purpose, but then it doesn't work out in the end for you. I'm like 9 minutes behind. Dabs, update your screen. Just click the like button. So the whole idea is that they're trying to say, let's get rid of junk food. But the minute you allow the purchase of sugar, flour, basic ingredients, you're not stopping the person from making junk food or potatoes or vegetable oil. They can still make their own chips, crisps. So what are you going to gain? Obviously, the junk food alley at the grocery store is certainly not going to be on your okay list, but that means at the same time, that means that they'll have to make their own junk food alley at home. Yeah. So the USDA, it's tied to the Iowa Farm Bill. How does it work? How did Iowa get a farm bill just for themselves? It's actually the Iowa legislature that helps determine the United States Department of Agriculture farm bill. How does one state's legislature change the policy of the entire United States? It doesn't make any sense. Maybe they might develop a skill in learning how to cook. But they better have the fire brigade on speed call, because if they never cooked before, especially things with deep frying oil, they're going to need it. Too bad, says, at least the energy and mental alertness it takes to make the junk food is better than veggies and most of the electronics. In front of electronics, shoveling food down their gaping face hole. As I said, I wonder if YouTube is going to stop allowing people showing videos of people eating on camera. Oh, wait a minute. You're eating a Twinkie? Your video is now demonetized. Yeah, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people in this world. Hot boiling oil is a recipe for disaster. Fires, third-degree burns. Yeah. Nobody wants to get hot oil on their skin, because that could be bad for you. On Worst Cooks of America, there was one cook. She put it so aptly on Worst Cooks of America. I forget her name now, but she was a blonde. And she was right. High oil is a good way to get burned because severe pain and burn your house down. What is it? 100% true. I mean, I won't even touch hot grease. I won't even cook it. Anything in grease is like, yeah, no, thank you. I think I'll avoid that part of the kitchen. That's part of the kitchen I don't want to go into, and then I have to clean up afterwards. That's why we just want to make hamburger patties. They put them in the oven, cover the pan with foil, and basically let them cook at 350 degrees for 30 minutes on slow heat for hamburger patties. They're 85% lean. Yeah, it don't make no sense to me, Michelle, how one state can determine the whole entire United States what they're going to do with the food. Michelle Obama already tried doing that with the school systems. You know what happened with that? They ended up throwing out tremendous amount of food from the school lunch program because the kids weren't eating it. I mean, again, government mandates saying, oh, you should do this, you do that. People are not going to do that. How many kids deliberately would avoid the salad bar? I mean, really, come on. Think, guys. Americans run on junk food. Sorry, Duncan. That's true. America runs on junk food. You can't avoid it. It's everywhere. Go to every single convenience store. It's all junk food. It is not necessarily like fresh broccoli at $1 or $3 for $1. No, you don't see broccoli in a grocery store. I mean, in a convenience store. It's pre-processed things like chips and dips and maybe some microwavable meals. You don't see fresh whole food. How many convenience stores would actually close in an urban environment if this passes? Food stamps that are taken there, it keeps the stores running. Oh yeah, and gas. I make my car fat as I get fat too, right? So you take away the reason for the convenience stores to even accept food stamps, and all of a sudden they go out of business. So now both you and your car both starve. No, I don't think it's an issue of protein. I don't think it has to come from insects. I think the problem is it's not it. That's not the answer either. The thing is, you can have all the chocolate covered grasshoppers you want, but I'm not interested. Processed food is more than the ingredients. They put things in it that you would be on the watch list if you were to buy. Absolutely. And yet the FDA calls it food. I don't understand. And agribusiness sits there and they pass lobbying bill legislation to say, oh, we want an exemption because we want to sell our things with FDI Food and Drugs Red number 3 and Red number 5, and we want to be able to continue to use artificial colors, flavors, and additives and preservatives. And so they will lobby Congress to make legislation that gives them an exception so they can continue to sell the stuff under the Farm Bill. What? Like, everybody's got their finger in the pie. And you wonder why the pie looks terrible with all those finger holes in it. It's like everybody's saying, oh, I want our products to be special interest. We need to keep sugar in there. We got to keep our aspartame in there. We got to keep our NutraSweet in there. We got to keep our brominated vegetable oils in there. We got to keep all this other stuff in there. And you wonder why Americans are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's enough to make you bang your head against the wall. You can't win. You can't win. European Union has been more successful keeping the organisms out of food, the GMOs, genetic modified organisms. In the EU, you can't sell food with GMOs. They will not import certain things from the United States because of the GMOs, including wheat and rice and other products, staples, the things that United States food stamp says it's totally okay. You can eat GMO, we don't care. But we still don't know what it does to the body. But you know what? You can still eat it anyway. They just create a name for the big byproducts. Yeah, a lot of times the bugs, unfortunately, were sitting in the warehouse where all the grains were, and they basically just get ground up with the food. How many cockroaches have you eaten today? You've probably eaten a lot. You eat a lot of bread? You eat a lot of, how do you know they're not cockroach guts in there? You don't know, because guess what? They probably were sitting in the grain hoppers, munching away happily, getting fat themselves, and all of a sudden the hopper pours them into the big giant grinder that basically grinds them down, and now their bug guts are in your bread. And that's just from processing. That's not even on purpose. Never mind making chocolate-covered grasshoppers. Same thing with the chocolate industry. Same problem. You get the cacao beans from overseas. There probably are things in there, and even though your shakers can't get all of them out, all the bugs and debris and dirt before you process the chocolate, one of the stuff might still remain in the chocolate afterwards because the shaker didn't get it all out. Let's see. It wasn't Skittles. It also in hot water a few years ago. There you go. Nothing in the Skittles fit for human consumption. Right now, the problem is with artificial colors, flavors, preservatives. In the UK, you can't even get that. You know what they call it? They will. They couldn't. You can't even get Trix cereal in the EU. In the UK, you can't get Lucky Charms in the UK. But then they finally came up with the UK approved Trix and Lucky Charms, and they're using actually vegetables for flavor or for coloring. I mean, like the green is actually made out of broccoli. Yeah. Because the mass producing of things is, it's just the way it is. So the World Economic Forum is getting their dreams. Americans are eating bugs, and we just don't realize it. And it's all because of the way we process food. Let's talk about something that's a little more exciting. I was watching some videos. We were talking about hard drives yesterday. And I didn't keep up with the Seagate line of colors and flavors, so I won't real specifically talk about Seagate. But Western Digital, as you know, has drives green, blue, red, black, purple. I think I mentioned red already. And they used to have gold. But the gold line is called UltraStar. So what happened to the gold line? What is the gold line? The gold line is the top of the line, the best of the best enterprise hard drives on the market. Really, really fast, cream la de creme, best of best. And we're talking about storage. Did you know, according to this one YouTuber, you can check this video out in Science and Technology on my Discord, which I'll post a link to. if you looked at the hard drive line, the green drives are low energy drives spinning at 5400 RPM or even 3600 RPM that are not exactly speedy, but they're still pretty good for some things. Okay, that sounds fine. I mean, they're not high energy. That's why they're called green, like in good for your budget and good for the environment. Okay. Is it really? I don't know. But anyway, so the green drives are the least energy using, usually using similar components. Then we go to the everyday blue. The blue drives are the ones that you might find in your typical desktop. Basically, kind of a good level overall drive. Most commonly, the least expensive ones that most people would consider buying. Then you got the black. Now, what? But black's not a color, guys. So why is there black? So what would be a color for black? Sky blue? Magenta? Maybe maybe navy blue? Whatever, okay. Anyway, so black is the most best known for gaming drives and enterprise drives where you need higher performance than blue, but not as next as the next ones we're talking about. Red. Now, red drives are enterprise drives intended for things like network attached storage. They not have the fastest read write cycles in the world, but they have the endurance that allows them to run great for storage devices, thus not network attached storage. Okay, and I was thinking about thinking. I was looking at some myself is a NAS drive good for home computer use? The answer is it'll work, but it's not going to give you the high speed burst like you can get with a black or violet. Purple drives are kind of the are designed for surveillance systems. They're designed to take lots of writes and write fast. But he's not going to be reading them or watching the content as much on them. So the read access is slower. They're optimized for writing, for like security cameras. The mystery comes in now when you talk about gold. Gold drives are replaced by Ultrastar. Boy, jeez, why did you have to come up with that? Why don't you come up with something called Crystal? Crystal drives are high availability, high performance drives that are designed for servers and data centers. These are the most expensive drives with the highest rated uptime. At least that's the intent anyway. To be running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But I don't think most people really even think much about that. What drives are good, what drives are bad. Right, I understand that. But you know what, Tabs? Don't forget of the blue drive, enterprise blue drive from from Western Digital, is still gonna be the same color platters underneath the cover, so it doesn't really matter. Technology on the different drives is more and more advanced firmware on the black, the red, the green, the purple. Oh, I'm just about the hard drives. I mentioned before about SSDs, MLC, SLC, TLC, QLC, 3D NAND flash. It turns out the green drives are using SLC, according to this guy. Now SLC has an advantage. That has the most number of P to E cycles, but it has much lower. It has lowest energy. It has the most lowest density per unit. You know, Michelle, what's your opinion on the best drive on the market right now for? I would say stick with the Western Digital Black line. I I would probably stay with about 4 terabytes of hard drives. Yes, I use spinning rest. Okay. Um, I do not have any experience with the gold. I don't have any experience with the reds. Or I do have one blue hard drive. This secondary drive on this computer is a blue Western Digital. Um, and it's been working fine, but it's only 500 gigabytes and it's running out of room. And so I would say if you look at my wish list, I do have some drives up there that I found. So if you want to look at the wish list, you'll see some drives that are up there that I'm looking for. So right here. So check out the wish list right there. You can check it out. And you'll see I did update it yesterday to get rid of anything that was obsolete or is no longer available for sale. So please do check out the wish list. Let me pull this thing up on the screen here. Let's show it on the screen here. That's the wish list. I don't know how many people are going to be able to type that into the chat, but that's the wish list right there. I think it's. I mean, I used to like Seagate. I still do have some Seagate Barracudas here. I never really got into the Cheetahs. And then, just like with Western Digital, they started coming up with different names and different products. Going from things like Metalist, Cheetah, Barracuda, Hawk. Quantum is, I think, is Hawks. Yes, I used to have some Quantum drives too. Yeah, I can drop all my links. You haven't seen those in a while, have you? Discord link, however, is not on the list. So maybe we can add the Discord to the list so we can don't forget about it. Now, did you know that this was a prototype? I don't know if this ever hit the market. That Seagate was designing as a prototype a mechanical hard drive to work on NVMe, non-volatile memory expansion. Now, non-volatile still makes sense to a hard drive. Actually, Media Express, I think it is. ME, okay, which usually is anywhere from 2 to 4 or 4 to 8 channels of accessing, using 4 to 8 lines of PCIe 4, ideally. Now, allowing for high speed access. I don't know what Seagate was proposing if it was even practical, because the fact of the matter is, just the mechanical platters of the hard drive is kind of slowing you down. I don't know if you can make read or writes any faster to access. Think about the difference between a spinning drive with rust versus an SSD. Think of an SSD like a group of mailboxes, like at the post office, like a PO box, right? Everybody gets a PO box. So when you want to access your mail, you go right to your PO box and there's your mail, right? Think of the equivalent of a hard drive is going to the postal worker at the post office to get your mail. And you and about 5 other people want that mail. So then he can only get to each mail box at one time so fast. That's because that's the spinning of the disk. So 5400, 7200 RPM, 512 bytes per sector. It means with usually more than 2 heads. Although it could be 1 head drive, but that's pretty rare. And so it'd be very small. So clearly for NVMe, in order to be practical, the drive would have to have 2, 4, or more heads, arms, to access the data at the same time. Think of how complicated that would be. Having 2 or 4 heads in a drive, going back and forth, you hoping the guys don't bang into each other. Bam! Oh, I just had a head crash. Gee. So think about a turntable with multiple tone arms. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. So each tone arm, in this case the hard drive, has to synchronize to not smash into each other. Can you submerge them in linseed? Well, they're using helium now. Seagate is using helium now as a replacement for oxygen or in the air to do both, to keep them cool and also to make them more efficient. Another idea is you could do is use a vacuum. Vacuum of cover might be a little hard to maintain because after a while the gaskets start to go bad and they might start to leak. So the helium, the standard atmosphere, 1 atmosphere, would also be less dense than air and give better throughput. So I don't know if you realize that, but helium is becoming extremely hard to get because we don't make enough of them from nuclear reactors to make up for what we have lost. It's the upper atmosphere, which is the truth. We don't really talk about that. But helium can be made in fusion and fission reactors, as a nuclear scientist explains, to make up for the loss of the helium reserves. But is it enough helium? I don't know. Also, don't forget, people want the drives to be lightweight. They don't want to have something that's full of linseed oil or mineral oil. Let me tell you one thing about that. People who have made computers using mineral oil, the plastic is attacked by the mineral oil. It might look cute using all the mineral oil on the computer, but the truth is it attacks the plastics and connectors and So I don't think you're going to see a drive completely filled with oil, because it's also going to result in the viscosity of the oil is going to put drag on the heads. So the heads would be like, it's like when you're trying to move your arm underwater. Your arm in air, you can go real fast, but underwater, it takes a lot of work to move your hand, for example. So, like I said, so helium is the new thing. Allowing for the drive to remain cool and also reduce friction. So the technology's there, and but the interface, there's only SATA 3, which is limited to 6 gigabits per second. How come they never came up with anything faster for SATA, like SATA 4 or SATA 5? I mean, would it kind of like start coming out looking like what happened in the end with SCSI? SCSI wide, SCSI narrow, SCSI ultra wide, SCSI ultra 3, SCSI 4, SCSI 5. If you make something better than SATA 3, is it going to be backwards compatible with SATA 3 and 2 and 1? I don't know. But it would be really wonderful if we still had the ability to see some expansions to the serial attached ATA protocol for things that are faster. Now you have something called serial attached SCSI or SAS. Serial attached SCSI is, of course, used in enterprise data servers. You don't really see it in the home market, but it's actually point to point. The drives, just like serial ATA or SATA, it's each individual cable goes to the controller, but they can send data at a much faster rate than you can over serial ATA SCSI 3. And the connectors look almost the same. In fact, many SATA drives will work in serial ATA, or serial attached SCSI. Many, not all, but some. Okay, but unfortunately, no, really, any SAS drives will work on SATA. The connectors are different. If you look at the connectors on a SAS, it's got a bridge of plastic between the data and the power connector, which does not exist on serial ATA. That's to prevent somebody from plugging in a SAS into a SATA connector. But you can still plug a SATA drive into a SAS interface. So it's just an interesting reality. When you're working with computers, you come up with all these crazy things, all these crazy interfaces. But you know what? We'll still be evolving, because right now they're talking about storage capacities in the petabytes. Not just an optical storage, but also in mechanical spinning hard drives. Also working on trying to establish hard drives that could easily do 25, 30, 40, 50 terabytes. Likewise with there's a 100 terabyte SSD. It's actually not a single drive, but rather is a mini RAID system using striping, as the Linus Tech Tapes found out when he opened it up. And each one of these individual boards is a SATA board of 25 terabytes each. So theoretically speaking, you can plug each one of those boards into your computer and get 25 terabytes of SSD storage. That thing costs $40,000, $14,000 US. I'm sorry, I don't think I can imagine me going to the bank and going, I need to get a second mortgage on my house so I can buy a 100 terabyte hard drive upgrade for my data server. But, you know, there are always early adopters that would do that in every industry. And I say every industry, I am not kidding you. Because now you have some of these audio files that are talking about optical turntable pickup heads for turntables that use, instead of using magnets, instead of using coils, wire, or ceramic, they're using optical read and write, or read ability to read the audio from the disc or from your records. It still has a needle. It's not like laser, but it still has a needle. But what it is the pickup head costs as much as $15,000, and then another $4,000 for the preamp stage. Like, what are you gonna gain? Our IAA is still going to limit you to 20 hertz to 20,000 kilo or 20 kilohertz. You're not going to gain much out of that, except a big charge on your credit card bill. What are you going to gain? Maybe like 1 or 2% audio change? No, I would never spend that kind of money. Likewise, as far as the optical drives go, like I said, if my Blu-ray drives are already having problems being read sometimes because the drive or the die has gone bad, I cannot imagine if I was storing a petabyte of data on an optical disc and then find out that because somehow the drive got a slight scuff or scratch, the thing can't read anything back. That would totally suck. Honestly, the fact is that it's very hard to keep things perfect, especially in the home environment. Even if this is designed for data centers, the truth of the matter is somebody's going to take the data center and bring it home, because that's exactly what Yasaji Electric did when he set up a Centurion mini computer in his home. So another guy when he bought himself a big IBM mainframe and put it in his basement. These people do that kind of stuff. So if somebody out there will say, I guess I'll buy a 1 petabyte optical drive for my home computer because it's cool. Good luck going to Staples to get your data or your media. Well, guys, it's been a heck of a morning, and I want to thank you all for coming here today. I'll see you all tomorrow morning at normal time. Oh, yeah! And I thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to put a like in the like jar. We're still trying to grow the show. It's going to be nice outside. Get outside, do some fun today. And get out there and have some fun. Get out and play for an hour a day. Amen. So until tomorrow morning, you all get a good night or a good day or whatever you're going to do. Get out there and have fun, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.